Hello and welcome. Today I'm just gonna go over just a quick little look over at a little game thing that I've been working on for quite a while now. This is all the code that it runs right now. It's very messy, but I'm just trying to get this to work. And I usually don't have this taking up the whole screen like it is now. Well, it's not taking up the whole screen. It's in windowed mode, and just the recording software is only recording this individual window, or well, the area that it took up when I started recording, because as you can see, if I move the window, the recording software does not follow it, but it's not the entire monitor that it's recording. It's a good portion of it. And yeah, but like I usually have it about like over here or so when I'm just editing and like testing, but I have it out this big so that the video is like a normal dimensions, or normal-ish, and you don't have to like look at stuff on my desktop the whole time, because I just got a bunch of random crap there that no one really cares about. And this here is the game as it is. It's very basic so far. I'm controlling the white square with the W, A, S, and D. W moves up and down. W moves up, S moves down, A moves left, D moves right. And I can press R to reset. And I wanted to have like a shift and sneaking mode, but right now for all the collisions to work, I have to keep it at this single speed. But I'm hoping that I can change that at some point in time and incorporate shift and sneak with sprint and sneak with a shift for the sprint and control for the sneak. But at the moment that is not working. But what it does is basically all this is just creating a collision system and object creation system, and just loading it into different levels here. And so basically I've only got functions for 3 different objects that I can create: a box, which is these two here, a text box, which is this here, and a goal point, which is this here. And a goal point has a text in it because it actually creates another text object inside it that's just at the same location, so it looks like one object when really it's practically just a box and a text object on top of each other, and when you bump into it, it completes the level. And everything can be toggled to collide with things, except for the goal point, which is set to always collide, otherwise it wouldn't work. And if you aren't colliding with something, you are rendered on top of it, just so you can always see your player. And so I've currently got the goal point, this box, and this text box toggled to collide and move. Well, everything here is toggled to collide at the moment. It's just the goal point, the box, and the text box that are toggled to be able to move around, and the player can move around by default. And also you can change which object counts as the player object as well. And so if I had when I was testing to make sure that would work properly, if I ever wanted it, I had the number pad keys set up to toggle. Oh dear, we've got a glitch. I'm not touching the keys right now. Not touching keys, and it's moving. It should not be doing that. I thought I fixed that. Oh well. Oh dear. When we hit the ground, it fixed itself. Yeah, I can just hit R to reset it. And the reason why it's all just a bunch of squares and solid colors is because I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. If I tried to make little sprites that looked decent for this, I would fail, like in every way possible. But that is sort of like an end goal. If I ever get around to finishing this thing and actually turning it into a game, I would like to have actual sprites instead of boxes. But I just don't have the artistic ability to do that myself. But yeah, I tried adding like a gravity. So basically, oh dear, it's happening again. So basically what the gravity would do is it would just have all the objects that are toggled to be able to move and just drag them down slowly unless they're moving up quicker than they'd be dragged down, and then they would move up instead so that you could have like jumping. However, no matter what I did, only the text box would move, and it would move up no matter what I set the numbers to. That's what would happen. The square wouldn't move at all. The player wouldn't move at all. And it doesn't matter if the direction because what it does is when it goes through all the objects, when it hits an object that is toggled to be able to move, it'll add the gravity variable to its Y position. And it doesn't matter if if the gravity variable is positive or negative, the text box would move up. which which should be pretty obvious that doesn't make any sense at all. So right now I just have the gravity set to 0, which fortunately that works and doesn't do anything. But none of the objects can move off the screen, as you can see. Just a big barrier. And if we actually walk into the goal here, it'll move on to the next level. This one is pretty much the same level, except that changed from a 1 to 2, and the red boxes aren't here. Just to test it around. Oh dear, here we go again. Yeah. The reset currently just resets it to as if you were just booting up the game. Doesn't like reset it to the beginning of your current level or anything. But yeah, my current plans for this are to have objects be able to move around on like a planned path of movement. And maybe have other objects like move around with like a basic form of artificial intelligence. And I don't mean artificial intelligence as in like if you say hi, it'll say hi back and you can like have a conversation with it. What I mean by artificial intelligence is just it can navigate its way around a corner if it had to. Oh dear. This situation will not resolve itself at any point. I'm telling you, I tested this exact scenario and it worked fine. But now it's not. But anyways, if you haven't been able to tell yet, I've been using well, you probably couldn't tell at this point. Well, if you're paying attention when I scroll through the code, you probably could. A couple minutes ago. But the language I'm using to do this is the Love language, which is basically just the Lua language, which I'm used to. Pretty much the only programming language I know. And the Love language just adds a bunch of different libraries to it so that you can do all this graphic stuff. In fact, when you run the love language, it just automatically opens up this graphics window. You don't have like a console you can print text to. Well, you can make your own, but that would be very... Well, I guess it wouldn't be that difficult. It'd just be this window and you're printing text to it at different Y levels. Yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult. Just having the full functionality of a console window where you can, like, enter text into it and get user input is probably be the difficult part. Because Love doesn't disable like the io.read that I use frequently in Lua to get user input. It's just that if you were to call that function, it doesn't have anywhere where you can enter that text, I believe. Well, I don't think I've ever tried it, at least. If I have ever tried it, it didn't work. We're just going to settle with that. Anyways, yeah. It took me quite a while to get this to work. And it's probably the least efficient way to do something like this, but I've never done it before. Well, I've tried to do it before, but this is the first time I've gotten it to actually work. Yeah. But to launch the game, I just have this folder here which has the script in it, and you just drag it over the Love executor, and there you go. However, if I wanted to, I could convert it into like a zip file and, well, compress it to a zip file and then change the extension to .love, and when you run that, it just run it like a normal like program like Minecraft does. You just double click and it'll run. I could do that with this. I just don't do it when I'm testing around with it because if it were set up like that, I'd have to convert it back to a zip file and then unzip the contents and in order to get into it and edit the code, and then I'd have to convert it back to a zip file, and yeah. It's just a lot easier to keep it like this for now. Yeah, there's not much to do. Anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.